Man. So in today's video, we got to talk about Kendrick Perkins again, guys, because he just got checked for that racist rant that he did live on ESPN First Take to go at LeBron James, asking why LeBron is only doing an interview with Pat McAfee and why is he only working with JJ Redick and Steve Nash on his podcast network, pretty much alluding to the fact that LeBron James doesn't try to help black people out, right? That's what Kendrick Perkins was pretty much saying, right? Let's check out that clip right here.
My last thing, and I'm glad y'all brought up the Mind the Game podcast. And the one thing I will say, sharing the locker room with LeBron James, being LeBron James' teammate, being in McDonald's All-American, all that, he is one of the brightest basketball minds I've ever been around. Okay, you lose JJ Redick, and then you go out and get Steve Nash. I would never question Steve Nash IQ or his intelligence when it comes down to the game of basketball. But Richard Jefferson just got hired as on our A team to cover the NBA Finals. He's smart as hell. Channing Frye, who won the championship with LeBron James, who does NBA TV, he's intelligent as hell. Phil Handy, who LeBron James won 2 championships with, who's now doing his own thing, he's intelligent as hell. Hell, Draymond Green. Well, I know Draymond Green ruffled the feathers, but no one could ever question his basketball mind or his basketball IQ. He's smart as hell. So what I'm getting at is, why none of those guys, LeBron? These are your guys. Why none of those guys are on Mind the Game? And I'll leave it at that.
And so will I.
So everybody kind of knew where Kendrick Perkins was going, and that's why people was turned off from it, because it's like, yo, why does Perk always constantly bring up race bait on ESPN? Because in that video I did covering this already, I showed another race bait take that Perk had did. And if you guys missed that video, I'll have the link to that down below. So I want to show you guys Richard Jefferson and Channing Frye checking Kendrick Perkins about that, because they like, yo, you don't know what you're talking about. You just went on ESPN First Take, put out a narrative that was just a complete lie, because LeBron James has been on road tripping numerous of times. Here's some pictures right here that I screenshotted for you guys. This is LeBron James doing a road tripping podcast. And Richard Jefferson said he has done plenty of other episodes that has helped that podcast out. And Richard Jefferson and Channing Frye was like, yo, he even made the podcast network that Draymond Green got signed to. So how can you bring up these people's names like, yo, he's not helping us or helping black players, when he literally created a podcast network that is getting these guys deals? And of course, all of the other stuff that he has helped out behind the scenes with other players. Let's check out what Richard Jefferson had to say. Check out Kendrick Perkins live on a Road Tripping podcast, man. Let's check out this clip right here. And if you can, guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. That really does help these videos get pushed out to the algorithm. Thank you.
Any one of those guys are suitable to sit across the table from you and actually talk X's and O's of minding the game? That's all I ask.
I like Steve.
No.
Steve's my guy, though. So.
No, okay. So let me say this about who LeBron chose to sit next to. Bron has been on this podcast multiple times, 5 times. He sat with us after they won the 2020 championship, right? He sat with us and did an in-studio interview. Go check it out. Millions of views. Great time. He sat with us.
Tens of millions.
He started a podcast company that Draymond signed to. And I think this is the part. I hear you that people want his interview and that there's whoever gets it is a winner of the LeBron James sweepstakes. But we don't, in my opinion, we don't get to pick and choose. It's like, well, you could have gone here. And I know that what the undertone is of, oh, well, why would you lift up that platform and this person supported you? Yes, but he's also supported people along this line, including this podcast, multiple times. We helped launch The First Dance. We were on this podcast, and Bron said, man, if ESPN, they got to release that thing early. They used it in the promo for The Last Dance. They used this podcast audio clip. I say that to say is that he has supported and been there. So when we start picking and choosing, like they was talking about on the Gilbert Arenas podcast, when you start picking and choosing who he has to give his platform to at what time and what platform, yes, we're all going to want to win that But if he chooses for a reason, then let's look at the history still. He has helped lift up a ton of other podcasts. He has done other things. That's just true. I was there when him and JJ were talking about Mind the Game and how that got created. JJ's idea, bringing it to him. We're going to fault JJ for that? So I look at this whole situation about who he gave that interview to as people just, again, picking and choosing. Because if you look at the history, he launched this podcast, was on it multiple times. He launched the podcast company that Draymond Green was signed to and JJ Redick was signed to at one time. So we can't sit here and say, well, I think he should have given it to this person to lift up he's been lifting up platforms. That's my rant. That's my opinion. I'll stick with it.
I get different perspectives from both Bron and Stephen A. and whoever else. All I ask from both parties, obviously we're close to Bron, the Stephen A. Smith side, if you're going to have an argument, please don't lie. Please don't make shit up. If you have a problem, don't make shit up and say, well, why weren't you at Kobe's funeral or memorial service? And why were you not doing this? The beef is not fun when we know you've run out of things to talk about. I think this whole thing is hilarious personally. But to bring up a memorial service and then to bring up another thing about D Wade and Bron and why he ain't doing this, just ask somebody, where was LeBron James at? It's LeBron James. People probably know where his airplane is at all times. That's it. So just don't lie to try and win an argument or to make yourself look better. If you don't like him and say, I don't like you because of A, B, C, and D, I get it. But don't start making shit up that is way personal and has absolutely nothing to do with the beef that started when you said, I'm pleading to you as a father. Because that one sentence is the whole reason this whole thing. And then for you to say, oh, well, I'm just talking basketball. When you say I'm pleading to you as a father, that has nothing to do with basketball.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes of it, right? It was strategically planned.
It's a big word.
Shut up. It was strategically planned out that he wanted to go on there because we know it's not revealed, it's not public, but it's something going on with a power trip between Stephen A. and Pat McAfee. That part. Okay. Now,
No.
Okay. Now, Bron beefing with Stephen A. Pat McAfee show come on right after that. I'm going to go on this platform, right? And I'm going to do it being petty at the highest. I received so many fucking phone calls and messages yesterday and today from former players that said, see, that's what I be talking about with Bron with the bullshit. He's in group messages right now. This is what I be talking about with Bron with the bullshit, right? And now if you want to keep it real, any platform that Bron would have went on, and yes, he came on here on Road Trip. He did an outstanding job. But guess what? That unfiltered part of LeBron James, the way Cat Williams blew up Channing Frye, Shannon Sharp, Shannon Sharp, what you call it?
Yeah.
That would have had the same effect on anybody else's podcast, the way he was unfiltered on that show. So with that being said, people hitting me up, I got to thinking. Not only is it road tripping out there, you have the knuckleheads. You have all the smoke. You have the OGs. By the way, Mike Miller, Udonis Haslam, who you won a championship with. You have Draymond Green. You're a guy.
You're missing the point, Perk.
Hold on. I'll let you speak.
So that's what Richard Jefferson and Channing Frye said, checking Kendrick Perkins. And as you can see, Perk just had to sit there and look like a fool. And this is the reason why people should not go on ESPN and try to paint narratives that they don't even know what they're talking about. Because the fact that they had all those facts, and I'm pretty sure Perk knows some of those things. It's just like, if you say you have no dog in this fight, then why are you going on ESPN First Take, putting out these type of narratives to try to defend Stephen A. Smith? Just say, hey, I'm staying out of that. When Stephen A. Smith does his segments, he can do those segments alone about LeBron James, and I'll just stick to the basketball takes, not this personal stuff, and put out these narratives where y'all trying to make it seem like LeBron only works with white people. And that's how they try to put that stuff out. And of course, you know, people is not going to try to dig up and do more research like I'll do it, or other YouTubers will have to do it to put out the right information, because that takes work. So people will just much rather go on live television, spew out a false narrative based off of text that he was getting. That's what Kendrick Perkins said. Oh, you know, I was getting text and it just made me say, no, you wasn't. You went with a narrative online, because I even showed how another podcaster has said that same narrative, saying, oh, LeBron should have helped uh, a smaller podcast, or why did he go to Pat McAfee's? It's like these people just say the same stuff, and then they don't even back it up with information or facts. It's just feelings, right?
He's on a mission to belittle Stephen A. Smith. I get that. And by the way, that's some genius shit to do on some, like, respect. I respect LeBron for how he's carrying Stephen A. It was on some power. You want me to show you my power? Let me show you my power. No doubt. Here's the why I said he was a sucker move. He should have went to a smaller podcaster. He should have went to a small. You're LeBron James. You could have did a kid podcast on the street. You would have changed that kid's life. You would have changed the ecosystem for that kid if you would have did it. You could have did an unknown podcaster or a new podcaster or anything, but you went to Pat McAfee, a white kid who comes on right after Stephen A. Smith. Comes on right after him. That was sucker fucking shit.
So yeah, that's it for today's video, guys. I would like to hear you guys' thoughts and comments. Get in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit that like button if you made it this far in the video. That really does help my videos get pushed out to the algorithm. I really do appreciate that, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Catch you guys on the next one, and we out, guys. Peace.